emphasize enough that you need to take this storm seriously. You need to heed the warnings. We have an evacuation order, voluntary evacuation order in place. Shelters are being stood up and will be opening around approximately noon today. There'll be 4 shelters available, and you can find those locations at our shelters on our website. I can't emphasize enough to take this storm seriously. We have a voluntary evacuation order in place now. We have a local state of emergency in place right now as well. But tomorrow morning, we'll have a mandatory evacuation. If you live west of US 19, please heed these warnings. You must evacuate if you don't feel safe in your home. And that goes throughout Hernando County, whether you live on the east side, low-lying areas, live in a mobile home, trailer park, RV, any of that nature that you don't feel safe in your structure. We're expecting tropical storm force winds and Category 3 hurricane winds, which is up to 115 miles per hour. So I can't emphasize that enough. We have our emergency support function staffs in place behind me in our emergency operations center. We're at a level 2 activation at this time. Tomorrow we'll be going to a level 1 activation. All of our emergency support functions will be coming in. As long as we have people in shelters, this operations center will be open and active. Okay, we've already had conversations within our county organization about debris removal post-storm. Sandbag locations are still open. They'll be open until the storm doesn't allow us to keep them open. And then we have damage assessment teams ready to rock and roll once the storm passes us. Again, once the storm makes landfall, we're still going to get feeder bands in Hernando County. So just because the storm has made landfall does not limit our impacts. We're still going to have impacts through the feeder bands as it moves through the state up to Jacksonville. So possibility of tornadoes is a possibility Tuesday into Wednesday. So at a certain point in time, if the flooding comes, storm surge comes, roads will close, emergency services will stop. You will not be able to get rescued. You'll not be able to get emergency services, fire, EMS, or law. Once the impact of the storm leaves our area, we'll have road crews clearing, making sure it's safe to come back, making sure the water levels is safe to come back. We're going to rely on Sheriff Nienhuis and his deputies. I'll let him say a few words about the safety and security post-storm. Sheriff?
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And again, I'm Hernando County Sheriff Al Nienhuis. Thank you all for tuning in. As he said, safety and security is our foremost priority. The preservation of human life is number one. And since this is possibly, if not likely, going to be an overnight event, the serious part of this, as it stands right now, that certainly makes our job a lot more difficult, which means our citizens have got to be prepared before nightfall, which means everything gets backed up several hours, and people want to make sure that if they're going to evacuate, which we highly recommend, we're not going to take people to jail, but we certainly are going to strongly encourage those individuals west of 19 to evacuate, because as our emergency management director said, if you're standing on your seawall, it might be over your head if the storm surge is what's predicted. So it is not something you're going to want to wait and see. You're going to want to get out early. We will probably restrict access tremendously as the storm gets closer so that we can protect that property of those individuals that have evacuated. Again, this is, as I said, this is a serious storm. Fortunately, we still have time, but time is our enemy right now. The closer we get to the storm, the less time we'll have. So make sure you have everything you need, including insurance papers and items you need when you evacuate. Secure your house today and get ready to evacuate at the latest tomorrow. Again, if you need any assistance, your sheriff's office is going to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless the storm becomes so serious that it's not safe for the deputies to be on the street. Then the moment we're able to resume operations, we will. So that's even more reason to plan ahead and be in a safe place. As we've said many times, the shelters are going to be open starting today at noon, but they are certainly not a place you want to go unless you absolutely have to. We will have security there, but it is not going to be comfortable, particularly if you're going to be there for 36 or 48 or 72 hours. So if you have someplace else you can go, it's certainly going to make your life a lot easier staying with family, friends, or some commercial establishment outside the area. Again, we certainly appreciate people taking it seriously. We appreciate the support we have here in Hernando County of our first responders, and they are going to be out there doing everything they can to keep your life and your property safe. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sheriff. To open up for questions now, please. Fanny? No? Again, thank you for joining us. I just want to reemphasize the importance of this. Please heed the evacuation orders. We want to give people enough time to get prepared. I understand people are working today, so we'll have time after work into the night. Ideally, it's not ideal to evacuate during the nighttime, but the shelters will be open beginning at noon today. Please make a plan, build a kit, stay informed to get involved. Okay, have a plan. If you're going to evacuate, please share that plan with family and friends that may be out of state that are going to be worried and concerned for you. Have a go kit to go. You have all your necessary things like the sheriff mentioned, insurance papers, medications, personal hygiene, stuff of that nature that if you need to evacuate. Have a go kit for your car in case you get a flat tire or you need jumper cables. Okay, this is going to be life impacting storm surge. All right, there's going to be destruction of houses and homes and structures. If we get the 8-foot of storm surge, 9-foot of storm surge that's forecasted, it is not going to bode well for the west coast of Hernando County. Okay, again, you don't have to be evacuating hundreds of miles, 10, 20, 30 miles inland to get away from the storm path. Okay, so with that, our citizens information line are open. If you have storm-related questions, please call 352-754-4083. Again, our citizens information line is open. It is for storm-related questions, 754-4083. Please do not call 911 for storm-related questions. I don't want 911 to be inundated with that. We need to keep those 911 lines open for emergency service calls only.
How can people connect through alerts?
You can sign up for Alert Hernando through alerthernando.org. You can sign up to get weather alerts through either a phone call, text, or email. It is geo address, so depending on what address you put in, you'll get that notification if there's hurricane force winds or any of that nature, shelter operations, information, that stuff will be pushing out through Alert Hernando as well. So again, please be prepared. I can't emphasize that enough. We want everyone to be safe. As Sheriff said, life safety is paramount. That is my main concern. And when I say life safety, that is for everybody, every citizen of Hernando County, every first responder, every fire, EMS, paramedic, sheriff, deputy, and all those people. We have been in contact with our energy providers, Duke Energy and with Cucci Electric. They are staging and ready to rock and roll once the storm passes and it's safe to come in. Please expect massive power outages for a long period of time. You should be self-sufficient for 5 to 7 days. Be self-sufficient for 5 to 7 days. If you do use a generator, please use it safely. Use it outside. Make sure those fumes don't come back inside your house. Please don't backfeed the power so your house doesn't catch on fire. If you need help and assistance, find an electrician as quickly as possible, or find a friend that can do it. But we want everybody to be safe and ride out the storm the best they can. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll be sending out briefs as the days go. We'll have conference calls with the Florida Department of Emergency Management later this morning. At 1 o'clock, we have a National Weather Service brief with the Tampa Bay Weather Office out of Ruskin. And then at 5:15, another call with the state DEM, and then a 7 p.m. call with the National Weather Service. So we're going to be in constant contact with the forecast, push that out to the citizens as fast as we can so you have that informed information. With that, yes.
Are there going to be any more press conferences like this?
If we need to stand up a press conference, we can, and we'll notify you and let you guys know. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you.
All right, if you're just now tuning into Live Now from Fox on your screen, officials out there in Hernando County wrapping up a presser as they share storm preps. They said if you are in an emergency, do not call 911 as it does relate to this tropical storm. Make sure you're following through with protocol as far as what emergency management officials need you to do out there. On the right side of your screen, live St. Pete Beach, beautiful blue skies and water, pretty much the calm before the storm. And that bottom right